Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, as the selling season winds down, I would think that there are quite a few home sellers who have homes that did not sell. What are the reasons they're not selling, and what can they do about it?
Well, I get calls every week from typically other agents, clients that are in that dilemma where their house hasn't sold. They don't understand why, right? Because the assumption for most home sellers is I'm going to put the house on the market and they're all going to sell. And I'm here to tell you, even with my listings, they don't all sell. Now, there's a lot of input to that. The seller is the one that actually decides where the home is going to be priced. The agent is the one that controls the marketing and the promotion, right? But some sellers are relying on the advice of the agent. And so I don't know where they were at as far as their communication or what happens. And it's a little touchy. They're allowed to talk to me, of course, and I can talk to them, but I can't provide services to them if they are under agreement with another agent. So some people just pause. They're like, nah, I'll wait till the market gets better, which I'm not seeing that. It's not exponentially better in the market predictions. Maybe just a little tick up in home sale prices. At the end of the day, it's in this area, it's just a small margin, just a few percentage points between sitting there on the market month after month and having the home sell in just a matter of a week or two, right? And we know how to do that. So here are the four issues that happen when a home is not selling. Number one, preparation. So not every home is beautiful. Not every home is remodeled. Not every home is updated. And some homes, frankly, have issues. You know, maybe they back to a busy street. Maybe I had one last 2 years ago that backed to a noisy freeway, but it still sold at a good price. Not every home is priced right. So as an example, I have handled over 200 properties taken back in foreclosure and ultimately deeded to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. The way that works is if a veteran buyer is getting a VA loan, they can buy that home, no money down. But if they foreclose, the VA funding fee, a piece of that VA loan, will actually give the lender money back. And then the lender just deeds the property over to the VA to resell. So I've been handling those properties now since 2012. And I've handled just our company well over 200 properties so far. And I would say most of them need work. So they're not pretty, okay? Or they have some kind of weird issue going on. And, but the VA, since they are a corporate seller, they know exactly how to price it right, ultimately to get it sold. Now, in general, they claim they want it to sell at normal market timeframes, 90 days or something like that. And so sometimes they'll test the market a little bit higher, but they'll make an adjustment if it's not selling. So pricing probably is the most critical factor out of the four P's that makes a difference, that helps a home sell. But that doesn't mean you have to price low necessarily to get the most money. It's all the stars have to align to get the buyers to want to come see the house. So number one is preparation. If you prepare the home for sale and there's good photos of the home taken and it's properly promoted and it's priced within reason, the buyers will come. But the buyers know more about the real estate market than I think a lot of real estate agents do, in my opinion. Many buyers don't want a home that needs work. However, if it's priced low enough, they can get a renovation loan. They can actually fund the repairs into the renovation loan and end up with a really nice house at a great price that's affordable to them. So that's why all these 200 plus properties that have sold from the VA, many of which are fixer uppers, plumbing's not working, pink latex paint thrown on the walls, whatever it is, are selling. And they're having bidding wars because the VA knows how to price them right. So preparation, these are the things that you have to look at. First of all, if you're on the market and you're not selling, please grab your most brutally honest friend or relative and ask them how your home looks to them online. Because I'll admit, when I go over and I prepare and I meet with sellers for a listing, I know in my mind, I've got what I call rose-colored glasses over it. So I'm not looking for flaws. I'm looking at the big picture, like, okay, we can sell this home. It looks good. We can do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really deep diving in the flaws, but the buyers are looking at it online, out of the gate, up front. You have less than 57 seconds to make an impression with the buyer online, and that is decision time. Do I want to see this home or not? Am I going to make a call about that home or not, right? That's all the time that you have to make an impression. And if you don't do that with your first showing online, they won't come. I had a listing in 2024 that was a beautiful house, but the seller hired a property manager to list the house. He took smartphone pictures, which were really awful. The lighting was bad. It was narrow. He didn't highlight the best features of the home. And couple that with being way overpriced. The house sat on the market month after month after month until that seller called me. He goes, I was going to call you, but I had this agreement with this property manager. Anyway, he fired the property manager, hired me, and we sold it for full price in 9 days. It was the same house. The problem was, and generally the same price, the problem was the pictures were awful. So we couldn't get people in the door. And actually, the day that the contract got accepted, I had another buyer that wanted to buy the house and was all mad at me because I didn't save it for them. And I'm like, where you been? This house has been on the market for 120 days, you know. But the problem was it didn't exist because the pictures were so bad for the first 110, but he wasn't at the open house either. All right, presentation. So we talked about that, how you really have to have the pictures in the right order so that you don't get eliminated online. And then the other thing is, how much time does it take to sell? Right now, the average time frame from the time you go on the market to the time you get a contract is already over 115 days. Now, not every home is getting contracts. That's just the average of the ones that are getting contracts, which is probably 1 out of 4 homes right now that are getting contracts. So if you miss the mark by either one of these 4 P's, preparation, pricing, promotion, or picking the right agent, the market is going to speak back to you right away. You'll be able to tell by the number of showings, the number of requests that you get to see the home. According to Zillow, a normal amount of showing activity should be about 6 a week. Are you getting 6 a week? Are you getting 1 every 2 weeks? You know, I have a lot of sellers call me. I say, how many showings you getting? Well, maybe I had 3 in 2 months. I'm like, that's something's wrong. Okay. Is it dated? That's another issue. So sometimes condition can be the reason a home is not selling. I recently had a home up in the north part of town, really pretty house, custom home, nice property, nice views, nice lot. And they moved out before they put it on the market. And the pictures we had were with furniture. So when they moved out after that, so when the buyer got there, it was empty. Now they had replaced the tired carpet in the basement, but not on the main level. So once you pull all that furniture out of there, it's all the flaws, including the tired carpet, really stands out. It also had wallpaper borders. Those are very much date the home, and a couple of bathrooms were just slightly outdated. So they came back all the way from Wisconsin and fixed those things. As soon as they did that, boom, sold almost full price. So sometimes you can come back and fix those things. There are condition issues. I have one listing that has purple stucco. Okay. Purple is a little strong color. And the problem is with photos, purple gets darker and brighter. So we've had problems with showings up front. I've had people that had houses with pet smells. That's a definite turnoff. Smokers, that's a turnoff. So if you don't address these things, unless the home is excessively priced below market value, buyers will go see it, maybe, but they won't buy it. Their expectations are very high. So just to get them in the door, the online showing has to be great. And then once they get in the door, if you disappoint them, they're moving on and they're not coming back. So it's the whole package. I actually had a quote from an asset manager that handles hundreds of properties at any given time. And he goes, you need to tell me if there's something that would make the buyer turn their nose up at the house, because you only get one shot at this. Don't let the buyer get away. Tell me if the carpet's bad. You're my boots on the ground. You can see the house. You can smell the house. Share that with me. That way they can position the property to sell to win. And pricing definitely is a critical piece of that. So right now, more than half the home sellers are lowering their price. Why is that? Maybe they hired an agent and they said, oh, well, this home sold for this, so my home should sell for that. I've had some people reach back 2 years ago, well, my neighbor's house sold for this, therefore mine should sell for this price. Okay. Most agents, because we have 87% turnover in real estate agents every 5 years, most of them have not seen a market where the prices are soft or correcting, or you really need to promote the house to get a buyer. It was the easy button 5 years ago. You stick a house on the market, have okay pictures, you're going to have a bidding war in a day or two, sometimes hours. That's not the case anymore. So this is why pricing it right, and making sure that it's priced right for its situation is important. And you need somebody with experience to do that. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. And we're talking about the reasons why a house is not selling. When we come back, we're going to dive a little bit more into pricing and how it can really make a difference as to whether or not a home will sell. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call. We have thousands of buyers in our database of buyers in waiting. Typically, I can email your home to at least 1,000 buyers that are high match for your home when it goes on the market. Call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing why a house may not be selling. So, what are some things that a home seller should do to solve that issue of a home not selling?
Well, it's likely price, but I would also look at the other issues. So who sets the price? Who does it? A lot of people think the agent decides on the price. No, it's actually a seller decision. They are the ones that sign on the dotted line and say, okay, price my home here. But many of them will defer to the advice of the agent, right? So it's a collaborative decision, right? And what is that criteria? Well, appraisers look at similar historic sales, but if it's historic sales and the market's soft or declining, how do you pick that number? How do you catch a falling star kind of thing? What are the market conditions? What are the motivations of the sellers? I've had sellers offer deep discounts just because they don't want to deal with fixing up a house. Nothing wrong with that. So what is the real home's value? Well, guess what? It is definitely not a Zillow Zestimate. Did you know that the values on Zillow, Richard, are based on not the homes that sold, but the ones that are on the market that haven't sold? Did you know that?
I did not know that. That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, to me, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter. Their whole purpose in life is to grab the data from the MLS, put it out there for the buyers to see, get the buyers to raise their hands so they can sell a buyer lead to a real estate agent. That's how they've made billions of dollars. They could care less if their data is correct. They try to position themselves as experts, but I got issues with that. Anyway, and it's certainly not what an appraiser says it's worth. An appraiser is also looking backwards in time. So and the appraiser's not going to buy the house either, right? They're going to say, oh, I think it's worth this much. That's great. But is a buyer willing to pay that much for it? We don't know. So number one, pick your selling strategy. I have multiple sellers particularly last month. It said, I'm not remodeling. I'm not dealing with this. I don't want any buyers through my house. Sell it to an investor as is, go. And we're able to do that and command the most money for them in that situation. Or if they want to go full market value, it's a different deal. And as always, it's best to price a home what I call realistically versus optimistically, and picking the right agent is critical. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, simply call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we'll be discussing how to negotiate a real estate deal and to win while you're doing it.